Greetings, class. Welcome to another session where we discuss My Father, Son Johnson. This is the last on chapters 3 and 4. So please, if you haven't read the chapters, read it. Next class, we're moving on to chapter 5 and 6. And today, an assignment will be put on Edmodo. Make sure you do the assignment. Make sure you read the chapters, read the book. Now, chapter 3 and 4, we go through a quick summary. Rami and Son are visited by their neighbors, Donaray Hilcher and Betty Hilcher. They take food as a sign of welcome, and father talks to Mrs. Hilcher and shows her around. Donaray and Rami are left alone and also have their own conversation. Rami and Son walk the ladies home where they share a nightcap, then return home. Rami could not sleep, so he thought of Donaray and was able to do so. Son's farm was very prosperous, and people began visiting it in order to purchase goods. Son is stern with his bargaining at first. Then he goes back to his old ways of giving away his goods. Rami confronts him about this and tells him that the same people who are begging him are buying from Jake. Son decides to change his ways. He brings home a puppy for Rami, which he calls Max. Donaray and Rami become good friends and spend time together, and the farm is extremely prosperous. Son and Rami decide that they have to take their produce to market. So despite the fact that everything is going well, they have to take it to market to sell off the rest. Despite the fact that Rami did not want his father to sell in the market, they decide to sell some goat kids as well. They have a wonderful dinner at the Hilcher's house where Betty volunteers to sell at the market for Son. Son was not pleased but agrees to this, and then they go home. Alright, now chapter 3, the themes that I actually want to talk about. Two themes I'm going to go through, and I'm going to go through quotes that highlight these themes. One of them is growth, and the next one is women in society. The women in society become very pivotal to the growth of Son Johnson. It is the fact that Jake is starting to talk to Ma that really starts to inspire Son to do better. And then Donaray and Betty Hilcher kind of give him that extra push that he needs. So the growth it hinges on the women in their society a lot. But let's talk about the growth and use some quotes. In chapter 3, there is a specific quote that shows Son's growth, and it kind of points to it, where he says, where the Hilchers are speaking about the way he built the land, and it's almost as if the growth of the land represents Son's growth. And what a way you've changed this piece of land, Son. You've neglected this land for so long, and it's so good. But to see it now, those bananas and vegetables you're growing. Now, this becomes symbolic because River Bottom was a land that he had ignored. And now that he's given it some love, the plants are growing, the produce is growing, and it's growing wonderfully. And so this is almost like Son's new personality. He's neglected this side of him. He's ignored it. And now that he has decided to give it some attention, it is growing and it is flourishing, just like how he himself is growing as a man. He's no more responsible. He's doing better for himself. Another quote that speaks about growth is actually now in chapter 4, where he now, Son Johnson, is starting to realize this growth that he is representing. And this is when he's deciding to take the cart into town. Understand? And Rami is saying, oh no, why are you going to go on the cart? Aren't you embarrassed? And listen to this quote. Look, son, I understand the way you feel, and it's no easy thing, but we're starting again. At least I am. When I started the first time, it was this way, small. First with a donkey to drive ahead of me with my produce. Then it was a cart. He looked up to the hills as he chuckled. Actually, we're one step ahead for the first time. We have the cart this time. So what he's looking at in terms of growth is the fact that in order for him to be better, he has to kind of go back to square one. And he's saying that this isn't even square one. This is at one step ahead. When he started, it was on a donkey with the produce on the donkey. But now he has a cart that can carry more. So he feels that he hasn't even gone all the way back to the beginning, and that this progress that he's making, he has to kind of go back to the start. So there's no shame in rebuilding from the ground up rather than trying to shoot further than he can. And this is the type of growth that he's going through, where he's building himself from within. We have to kind of take a step back and look at what was happening in chapter 1. He was in immense debt. People took advantage of him. And now nobody has to even tell him what is happening. He himself is realizing that he is doing better. And the influences around him is his son Rami and the Hilchas. So this is where we're going to take a segue into the next theme, which is women in society. Now, for women in society, what's really important to look on with women in society aren't just the existence of the women in this society, but how they are treated, how they are looked at, and the impact that these women have on the lives of the characters. I have 4 quotes for women in society in chapter 4 itself, right? And listen to how women are referred to and spoken about, and then the impact. Donna and I would help each other with problem mathematics in the evenings, and we'd sometimes fish the river, using the bamboo-made basket against the banks, flushing the crayfish into it, and she'd carry the pan for the fish. We'd share the catch between our 2 houses, and we'd both be cooking crayfish soup at one and the same time. And to judge which was better by mere smelling, of course, Mrs. Hilcher's or ours, I'd have to go on the bridge, which was halfway between us, and sniff and judge. Mrs. Hilcher was too accomplished a cook. We lost every time. So, yes, there's this kind of expectancy where women are expected to be cooks, but what we do notice is that even though the women are seen as experienced cooks, and they are better at cooking, there's a little bit of a challenge where he wants to try and make a better soup, but he obviously lost this challenge. So the women are influencing him to be better at cooking and being more domesticated in this sense. Now, he even comments on the Hilchers being women who grew up on the farm, where he says, well, being a farm girl at heart, a lover of life, lived to the rustic hilt. Rustic is when you're out in the woods and you live on a farm and you kind of grow your own, that kind of thing. Rustic hilt, if you get what I mean, she agreed. And she sat the horse well too. But when we casually jogged into the people-filled square, barebacked, the tongues did wag. I was sorry though, for the talk was about her, not about me. Tomboy, they said. A disgraceful thing, and she in a dress. But I knew that it went deeper than that, for what was so despicable about a girl riding barebacked into a village? So, what Rami is looking at now is how the society views her, where they feel that a girl should not be riding a donkey or a horse into the village. She's in a dress, so she's expected to be a lady. You understand? She's expected to be nice, where anything that a man would do if a woman is doing it, they see them as a tomboy. And that's a very negative look that the society gives. And we now get a chance to see how the community views these women in the society. The next quote that I'm going to take. Father and I sat and watched both women get things ready. It was pleasing to see Donna Ray handling herself like a woman. She looked cute in an apron. So even though before Rami speaks about how the community was being very negative, what's so wrong with a woman riding a horse, it seems that there are also a few things that he likes from the stereotype. He likes the cuteness of the women. He likes how they look doing womanly things. But I guess the one difference between Rami and the town is that if they step outside of the womanly things, they don't look down on the things that they do that may be considered manly. They don't take the manly acts as something negative. They take it as an additive, something that makes them stronger as women. While the community thinks that women should not be doing certain things that men usually do. That's why certain things like the dress was attached to her. Like she's wearing a dress while she's wearing a horse. While in this section, he's just saying that an apron looked cute on her. Another, the last quote where we speak about the women in society, where why not let me, she said after a short time. This is where she speaks about, we said it in the summer where they speak about riding into market. Hey, father, and I could drive the cart, and she would do the selling. Women are better sellers, father. I mean, people haggle so, they'll just haggle you into the ground. So there are two things that he's looking at here. Not just the fact that women are expected to be better sellers, because I guess women can, in their opinion, women can negotiate better. They can use their looks, they can, as we would say, they can sweet up somebody better, influence people better. And that's what made them better sellers. But we're also looking at the fact that, just like with the other theme of growth, that father, son is easily influenced and people take advantage of him. So he would rather the women do the selling so that father, son Johnson wouldn't get influenced as easy. And this is how we see the theme of women in society affecting the theme of growth. Because what is happening now is that the women are becoming stronger and helping son to be stronger. So when we look on themes in literature, I want you guys to look on what the themes are, who represents the themes, and how those people that represent the themes influence others. When we looked at young warriors, and we spoke about young warriors, we looked on how, for example, we looked on friendship, right? And then we looked on how different characters in young warriors experience and expressed friendship differently. So same way in Son Johnson, we look on growth. How is Son Johnson growing? How are people helping him to grow? And this is where also the setting becomes very important, because when we are talking about women in society in Son Johnson, the setting affects that theme, because when they're at River Bottom and they're on the farm, the women in that area are accepted by Rami and Son Johnson. So that is where the setting becomes influential there. And then when they go into town, they aren't accepted. So they are viewed differently. So this is how the setting can influence the theme. All right, guys, a quiz is set or will be set. So check Edmodo. Please do the quiz. Pick up yourself. Oh, next class we're going to do chapter 5 and 6.